you. So good morning, everyone. I will be giving you feedback on every task. Remember, I have been reading task 1 and giving you feedback and your grades. Remember, that's one of the grades for until the completion of 5 tasks by the end of May. I guess it will be around the end of May, and that will be one of your grades. So keep on working. Lisela is right. You can finish today. Lisela, the earlier the better for you. I will also be reading, giving feedback, and uploading. Yes, your corrections, feedback, and your grades. Okay, yeah, thank you. Lisela, you're hardworking. I know you have your organization in the week. Then you have practicum as well, both groups, and you're busy on some. You have extra work with practicum during the week, so you need extra organization for that. Yes. So, so every week you will have explanation for the following one, and you need to be ready to discuss. Yes, the previous readings. Otherwise, we cannot keep going. Yes, making progress. Okay, this organization is okay. I think I have seen some of you finish task 2. I really congratulate you. That's a long task. And you have a lot of reading. Yes. Task document 2 it needs a lot of reading and reasoning. Also, probably the difficulty lies in the fact that you need to read about topics you have not read before in English, and that's understandable. As for example, what is philosophy? But you have some help. What have you read about philosophy? What is philosophy? Okay. Any of you? It's easy. Come on.
Hello, Miss.
Yes.
Philosophy is the in the article that we read. Said that is the love of knowledge, and but is the search for answer to basic questions that are part of daily life and the real and true.
Yes, exactly. So because we look for the truth, yes, what is beyond that reality that we see, that helps us understand these truths, fundamental truths. Yes, what is true? And moreover, these days, we don't believe there is only one true. Yes, but philosophy keeps on looking for the fundamental truth, la verdad fundamental. So imagine, that's a hard goal to get. Anyway, philosophy keeps on being the basis for many of our actions and the basis of science. And that's why philosophy needs to be also, if we have a philosophy of education, and you know we based our educational practices on theories, and we read about them, you will see that with research and with every other area of knowledge, more or less the same happens. There is something beyond what we do that helps us understand these fundamental truths, answer these questions that Barbara was explaining. So philosophy helps us see that this asking and answering and looking for basic questions and something that is beyond, yes, fundamental truth. And that's why there are certain areas. I added ontology, which is the study of concepts such as existence, being, what is reality, what is existence. En Spanish es el estudio del ser, el estudio de la ontología, what is and what is not. And we know that logics was a subject in my high school, yes, in which we studied the structure of arguments. Ethics, the study of moral duty, yes. Epistemology, the study of knowledge, and therefore ontology and epistemology usually work together in the sense that we look for what is the essence of being and how we get knowledge. How do we know about this world. So if we ask what is reality in the world, we also ask, how do we know this reality? And this is important for you to work later. Yes, and metaphysics is the nature of reality again. So all of these areas within philosophy helps us understand different areas, all of them trying to look for wisdom. And wisdom, we said, is more than knowledge. La sabiduría va más allá de lo que es solamente el conocimiento. Because wisdom gets us to the truth. Nos lleva hacia la verdad, a esa verdad fundamental. Okay. So how do you think this philosophy and philosophical schools, and you read about these different philosophical schools, influence research? Because what are we doing when we do research? We look for answers. You told me that, and we wrote about that in task 1. We look for answers to our questions. And what do you think we are looking for in research? What kind of reality? What do you think? And you're going to read something to apply this. What is and what is not? Yes, how do we know in research? How do you think philosophy influences research?
I think that the philosophy is related with the ethics and
Yes.
so the studies or the research must be ethical and
Yes.
show the genuine
Genuine. Yes.
and the real knowledge. So
yes, but Barbara, in the words of Barbara, we also say that she's looking for something real, for something truthful. Yes. So philosophy is related to that vision of truth that we have. Yes, that we have. So Barbara sees that through ethics, she will demonstrate the truth, and it's one area of research. Yes, and the University of Palca, let me tell you, has a committee, an ethical committee. And it's really tough to talk to them because they are always looking for these elements of ethics, what is right, what is wrong, yes, what is moral, what should be done, what should not be done. And the conversation I had with them was like this: no, you cannot use your participants as you like, for example. Well, it was different, but around those topics, in order to find that truth that you want. Yes. So there are rules to follow. That's what they were telling me. They are right. Yes. It's like Barbara says, it's not that because I'm looking for some results, I am going to do whatever I want or follow or jump the rules of ethics. And that is right, because that fundamental truth that I need to get to, I need to follow certain rules and I need to follow the path. And this is exactly what it is. So philosophy is related to the vision of truth that we have and the rules that we have to follow. Rules we have to follow. And sometimes it's not that we, as researchers, want to jump there are different paradigms, and this is also a discussion. And this is what you read in the article by these people called with difficult names from Lithuania. It is because there are different worlds or different ways to see reality. And the point that with the committee I couldn't get to an agreement was that our ways to see the truth are different. Yes, but because we belong to different schools, we belong to different paradigms. And this is also reality. So this is what you read about the philosophical schools, that there are different ways to see this reality. And so what do you remember that reading there in the chapter. In chapter 6, we are going to talk about the schools, so you need to have read them. It was only 5 pages, 6 pages. You can browse there, the article, the chapter. Who remembers? And then you have your tasks. So check your tasks. Philosophical schools are, we have paradigms as well. You need to have read this. Hello, are you there?
The question
Yes.
is related to positivist.
Yes,
research.
exactly. So those are the schools. Yes, exactly. So there are different schools, yes, that see reality, this truth in a different way. Yes. So
Yes, there are 4.
yes, there are 4. Yes. So the different authors will talk about different names or divisions. Philosophical schools or trends. Which are they? Then we're going to focus more particularly.
Positivist, interpretivist. I don't know how to say. Pragmatist and realistic.
Positivism, interpretivism, yes, pragmatism, and realism. Okay, yes, interpretivism, yes, and more or less in the names we already have some hints, yes. And do you remember that we saw the kinds of research the first day, and we said that there were correlational studies, interpretative studies, or explorative studies, and these are more or less related to the schools because it's the way in which we see reality. Yes. Positivism and conductism, we studied in education as well, that saw a world that was static. Yes, there was only one truth. Yes, and there is one way to see reality, one truth, and we have to prove the truth. And it's already decided for us. Yes, we already follow one idea of the truth, and we need to prove it. And in education, conductism does that. There is a way to educate children by means of stimulus response, and it doesn't give any other room for creativity or for constructing knowledge, building up knowledge. Interpretivism, on the other hand, also refers to the reality that we might try to interpret, that is not given to us, already interpreted. It's another way of looking at reality. Pragmatism also relates to the idea that reality needs to be observed in different ways with different instruments, and we're all the time discussing, yes, with ourselves and with reality, what is real. And realism is probably the one that tries to see the reality as it is, though, of course, we're always looking at reality with different lenses. Anyway, always looking for the fundamental truth. So what is the fundamental truth? And in having these different schools, we understand that there are ways to see the reality that forces us to understand what we do in research. Okay, then Kumar refers to this topic in other terms, although a little bit different. Kumar refers to this with different vocabulary, yes, or different terms. Let me check. So here is Kumar. And Kumar really doesn't explain in depth, but he speaks also of paradigms. And we're going to see the slide about paradigm. But a paradigm is a framework, un modelo, un marco. And he speaks about two paradigms. So all of those schools might fit into two kinds of paradigms. So there are different views from knowledge, how we can categorize these different ways to see reality. So from the basis of research in the social sciences, yes, two paradigms. So he talks about the physical sciences and the and social. So physical phenomena and social phenomena. So which kind of phenomena does each paradigm respond to? So he speaks about the social sciences having a paradigm that is systematic, scientific, and positivist. So positivism goes along with this great paradigm in which scientists have found answers to questions referring to the physical world, yes, to biology, physics, mathematics, yes, and for which they have to follow a scientific and systematic approach. So positivists understand, we say that the truth is unique and we need to prove there are rules in nature, in the physical world that we need to prove and that they are always the same. I cannot change this. Yes, so that is one paradigm. The opposite paradigm, says Kumar, refers more to the analysis of social phenomena, because then scientists discovered that after studying the real world, we needed to study also social phenomena carried out by people and by groups of people. So in that sense, we couldn't follow the systematic scientific positivist approach followed with the physical sciences. Though the physical sciences keep on influencing the world of social sciences. So that's why the other paradigm was developed around a more qualitative kind of approach, ethnographic, ecological, or naturalistic, beginning from the social area, beginning with people and groups of people interacting together, and developing other kinds of procedures. So each paradigm, says Kumar, has their own values. Yeah, so we cannot say one is better than the other, though, as I say, the social sciences have inherited a lot from the physical sciences and ways to see reality as well, even when we talk about people and social groups. So could you understand this paragraph? Could you summarize it? Do you have anything to share about that? So Kumar, yes, anyone?
No, Miss, the paragraph is clear.
It's clear. Okay, so so he speaks about two main paradigms, yes, positivist and naturalist. Positivism and naturalism. There are different names, as I say, but they refer to the same. Speaks about two paradigms. All right, you're going to work with this, so you need to ask questions, ask them now. He speaks about two paradigms. Positivist and naturalist. Something like naturalistic, naturalist. Okay. All right, so you will see examples. You will need to analyze this, okay? Okay, so paradigm, we said, what did you find here? What is a paradigm? Your turn. One idea? What is a paradigm? Anything from your task? Anyone, even if you read, it's not a problem. Come on, anyone?
The word is such a example, such a model.
Yes, it is a model. Yes, exactly. It is a model or an example. And when we follow about the paradigm, it's because we analyze according to the characteristics of that model. So if we're talking about the positivist paradigm, we develop, so we analyze reality according to the examples, the model explained by positivism.
And correspond a time of the epoch. I don't know who say that, but the paradigm in the past are different than now.
Like this, like epoca.
Yes.
Like a period of time. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Sometimes, nevertheless, paradigms keep on resisting the development along history. Yes, and for example, I was investigating about education, paradigms in education, and we continue with a paradigm that for me it was long ago over, but it is not. We continue still under the same rules of an old paradigm, just because changes in social movements do not happen quickly, but sometimes it's difficult to change that model. Yes, and we keep on repeating old models because that's the way we learned. Okay, yes, but it follows history and time, certainly, because humanity keeps on developing new knowledge, new technology, and therefore we should be changing paradigms. But paradigms are difficult to change. Yes, we exist more in discourse than in reality. Yes, we know how to describe a new paradigm, but still we do not know how to live up to it. And with research, probably research is more flexible. There are different kinds of paradigms, but still there is resistance with new paradigms, with these naturalistic paradigms in research, just because they are difficult to understand, and also difficult to change those old paradigms imposed by the physical sciences. So, but probably with research, we are more flexible probably than we are with education. That is what has, as my opinion, according to my research. Okay, but you will do your own research. Okay, so here you have to do your own summary. I will read about that. And now our chapter is by these people who are difficult to pronounce, but anyway, they come from Lithuania, and I found the chapter easier to read for you just because they are not native speakers of English, and also because they explain the different schools, as Lucas explained to us, very detailed and in easy words. Therefore, now you have the philosophical schools and different areas. So how about you go back to your tasks? So some of you have that finished, others have it half finished. Doesn't matter. How about you work together for 10 minutes, try to complete this chart in groups, and we share your discussion. So as we were discussing before, we have positivism. Positivism is the general abstract noun. Positivismo. We say the same in Spanish. So look up, read quickly. You have already read, and probably you decided on another graphic organizer, but this was easier for now. So how does positivism understand the social world? which is the position of scientists, their personal values, methods, and data collection methods. So remember that always. In research, we're going to talk about how we see, yes? So about, we go back to areas of philosophy. So we go to epistemology. How do we know the world? We go to ontology. What is real? What is the basis of reality? What physical sciences say? What the social sciences say? What is real? Yes, do I follow strict rules and follow all the ethical rules? Or do I jump through some ethical rules in order to understand people's experiences? So again, so we see there are different kinds of rules and different ways to see reality, okay? So this is what we are analyzing. And there are different methodology, yeah? So if I have a vision of the social world, I have a way in which I know the world, I have a method to get to that knowledge. And all of them relate together. That is what you have to find in this reading. So you already read. Now you read with these lenses. Yes. We have interpretivism. That is easy to understand because interpretivism is very similar. Paradigma interpretivista is easy to understand because it's very similar to what we would say in Spanish. Interpretivismo, o sea, un paradigma interpretivista, what would that mean? That there is a world that is already interpreted or something that I might have certain flexibility to interpret myself. And this is also a different viewpoint, a different way to see the world, the social world, the world around us. Pragmatism again shows us a different way to deal with reality. So it is not so it's not a world that already exists. It's not a world that I interpret or there are other people interpreting, but it's a world with which I have to get to an agreement. Yes, there is a discussion between research and the world, and we have to get to a conclusion. Now, realism, again, we all the time try to see what is reality. Remember, we're looking for the truth. Where is the truth? Yes, the world already exists. The world I can interpret. I can negotiate with reality, or reality is simply something that is real and exists outside there, and I have to understand it. So this is not easy, but not difficult either. And you will see that whenever you have questions about research, you're always asking yourself about these different schools and different paradigms. And you will have different answers here. How do we see the world? Remember, ontology. ¿Cuál es el ser? ¿Cuál es ese ser? ¿Cuál es esa realidad? Ontology. What is the social world? And the view of the scientists, because we might see reality, but we might not see reality in the same way. Yes. Personal values has to do with axiology. We didn't write it over there, but it has to do a little bit with ethics, a little bit with values of what is valuable or what is moral. So there are certain values. And methodology. How do I get to know that knowledge? Yes. Okay. So you're going to work with that. How many are we? Okay. 4 groups, I think. So do you all have the chapter and your tasks? Okay. So we will have 4 groups. You will discuss, complete that 10 minutes, and we will come back to, and you will dictate to me. Yes. So we go quickly. So remember, you will go from ontology, what is reality? Epistemology, how do I know that reality? Yes. And values or methods and methods. Yes, ¿cómo? How? How do you get to know that reality? Okay. All right. So you will work with groups. Now, I will upload the chart so that you can add it to your tasks to complete it. So now we will share as much as you could do in the chart. Okay, because we have another task to do. Okay, so I will share the chart on a Word document and you can use it also in your tasks. Okay, so what could you find in these minutes? How is the social world? Which did you read? Positivism? I think it's the first one there. Anyone?
Teacher, in our
Yes.
groups, we compare this table with the task, and we don't do the same. We are more basic tasks, so
Okay.
we don't.
You
I
don't
think
have.
we don't. No, we don't understand completely the task 2, I think. And when we research again in the text, we don't complete all the
We didn't
parts.
complete. Okay, but anyway, whatever you completed, we are going to work together. So that's what we're doing. So then you can go and rewrite your task. Okay. So what?
In the social work in positivism, we knowledge is created through social interactions.
Social interaction, are you sure? Okay. If we go to page 125 in the chapter, philosophy, what is the chapter? This is one. Yes, so if we go to 123, yes, so here it is, school by school, yes. So positivist claims that the social world can be understood as an objective, in an objective way. Can you see, Sophia? Did you find this page? This is chapter 6. Okay. So positivism believes the social world is objective, is outside, it's not constructed by all of us. ¿Sí? Nuestro mundo no está construido por nuestras experiencias, sino es un mundo objetivo. Existe fuera de nosotros. No es nuestra interpretación, es objetivo. You see? That's why the scientist is objective. Always we have the word objective. It's independent, you see? It's outside. So what can we say after reading these 3 lines here? What can we say? How is the social world? So the social world is objective. It's outside human beings. Los seres humanos, para el positivismo, no creamos el mundo ya está creado, está fuera de nosotros lo estudiamos solamente. Yes? Do we understand?
Yes, now yes.
Now yes, okay. That's what, anyway, you need to read, even if you don't understand, okay, we understood this, but okay, we need to. So always read and try to do your best. Yes. So the scientist, what does the scientist do in this objective world? The scientist is an analyst. Solamente el científico analiza esa realidad. Se diferencia desde sí mismo y la realidad es otra. ¿Sí? Es el mundo más fácil de entenderlo como el mundo de los experimentos. El científico experimenta y está separado de ese experimento. Es un analista objetivo. Okay? Do you follow? Objective,
Yes.
yes, okay. Objective analyst, independent, yes. All right, so in this way, it's easier to understand how to focus on the most important information only. Okay, all right. Oh, I don't. All right, so in that way, you keep on going. Anyone else has anything about personal values or methods? How do you think, which are the methods followed by the analytical scientist? Lo vimos con Kumar. ¿Cómo decía Kumar que era on the first day we also saw it. How are the methods followed by the researcher who is conducting an experiment with a vaccine, for example? Then you will find it, but which are your ideas? Methods. Lo leímos en Kumar, so Kumar also has that. It's the social, no, not the social science, the physical science. Think of an experiment in the physical sciences with vaccines, for example. So it's a scientific method, very rigorous, very strict. Yes. So we will see today or later. Yes, scientific method, but strict rules, strict scientific method in order to study reality. Yes.
Regulatory, I don't know.
Yes, very much regular. Yes, very much followed by rules and regulations. Well, I will explain to you also. For example, with the vaccine, they have to follow very strict rules. Otherwise, they can alter that experiment and that validation of the vaccines. All right. So in that sense, you will follow from page 123 in this chapter, reading each of them. They are there. So all of the information is here. So there are 5, 6 pages. So quickly interpretivist. How is different from positivist research philosophy? Interpretivist, anyone?
It is subjective.
It is more subjective. Yeah, exactly. We're never wrong. Yes, they're opposites. So the world is subjective. Excellent. So it's not something objective, it's subjective. World. Excellent. So the world has different interpretations. So it's not only one thing that is the truth, right? We're looking for the truth. Exactly, there are interpretations. Exactly. Sometimes it's easier to understand with the opposites, but sometimes also if you read here, yes, you will see, yes. So the social world can be interpreted in a subjective manner. So you can interpret the experience of people. And that was also a discovery for research. Yes, it was not the first way to see the world. Okay. So the researcher observes the world and understands, interprets. All right. Also, it follows interests, of course. That's what happens with interpretivists. We have our own interests, and sometimes it's also difficult to match. But just any other thing, Lucas? Lucas is an interpretivist. He catches Yeah, I don't know why, but the position is more observe and interpret the reality. Yes, observe and interpret. I am not trying to look for the rules of the physical world. I try to understand social phenomena. So here we go to the social sciences, yes, in which there is flexibility to interpret what is going on, which are the phenomena. Okay, so observe and interpret reality. So this is a complete different philosophy towards research. Okay, so are we better?
Miss, sorry,
Yes.
but you can you share with us the presentation, please?
Yes. So I go from one to the other, and sometimes we can say, okay, there it is. Yes. So in this way, when you go now back to the reading and revise this, it will be easier for you to locate information. So this is also when I tell you to choose a graphic organizer, it's for you to organize your reading and your information so that you can understand better. Okay, anyone pragmatist? Anyone has any idea? Pragmatism deals with facts. Mostly the choice of the research has yes, it's more as I tell you, it's more a conversation with our reality. All right, pragmatists try to be more try to agree with that with the reality and with the problem and with the phenomenon. Yes, so it's not so black or white. Yes, positivist is one reality, I have to understand it. Interpretivist, there are different views of reality and I can interpret them. But pragmatists try to understand what is better in this. So try to determine that there are different ways to understand our reality. Okay, so researchers have freedom. Yes, have freedom because it's because of the phenomenon, because of the problem, I will follow a certain path. So the other two are more follow more rules in a way. And one of my professors used to say that interpretivism was a post-positivism because it was also very much related to objective steps. Whereas pragmatism is freer, es más libre. So you have more choice and you follow less rules. So they are free to choose methods, techniques. So it's again, reality, yes, is not absolute. You discuss with reality in order to get to an agreement. All right, so pragmatists do not see the world as absolute. So it's not black or white, it's not my interpretation, your interpretation, it's not objective. It's not unique, it's not a unique understanding. So it's not an absolute unity. All right, so you might find studies like this. Okay, we will see again in which researchers try to find a way to interpret that reality. In those cases, you will see more pragmatism. So the world is not unique, one unique reality, or various. Okay. All right. Anything else you have read about pragmatism? You will see that there are researchers that follow one or the other, trying to get to an agreement with that reality. Yes. And realism, do we have anything short about realism? on the principle of positivist and interpretivist, again, realistic research philosophies based on assumptions that are necessary for the perception of subjective nature of the human. So again, trying to look for reality, probably we will most probably be in between these two, yes, in trying to get to perceive subjectivity. So mostly you will not see one or the other clear cut, right? But these two are probably the most common, the most used. They follow rules, but they try to follow, yes, the understanding of perception of the subjective nature of the human being. And of course, we are talking about the social sciences here. Okay, so how can we say, what can we say about realistic research? It tries to perceive perceives the subjective nature of human reality. Perceives Okay, so here we are. So here we are. You will continue with this. Do not worry. I will send you the chart, and you will continue with this analysis. Is this clearer to understand the information, girls, boys?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So now you will watch a video in groups and read an abstract. In the group, discuss the abstract. So remember, you discuss how the scientist sees reality, or what is reality for this study. Yes, in that way we know how scientists see the reality. Then you see how they get to know reality. Yes, how they get the knowledge, and which methods will help them or him or them to understand that reality. Yes, that should be described in the abstract. Okay, so we will divide again. Try to focus. Yes, try to focus. You have 4 groups again. The 4 groups. Okay. Not so difficult. Okay. So I thought, yes, it deals with the topics we have been discussing, right? About ontology, epistemology, methodology, and how you understand reality and what you study in research. So it was cool, I thought. So now it's over to you. The abstracts were short, 3 different studies in different areas of the world. They are not all of them are native speakers of English, so that's another thing. So you see, even when you're not a native speaker, you can write in English, research in English, so analyze in English. So it is possible. Okay, so who wants to start? Any one of you can share, so we know, and I will tell you the backstage, more or less. Anyone? Come on. Anyone? Who wants to start? Anyone? Hello, people? Hey, hello. Anyone? Show us the abstract. Or do you want me to show the abstract?
Yes, it's more simple.
Okay. I will share any abstract. All right. So abstract, we start in order. Abstract 1. I will show it. Abstract 1. Okay. Oh, so I have so many things. Okay, wait a minute. I have many things. Abstract 1 here. Okay, this is abstract 1. Oh, this is a very well-known study by me. I studied it to write a literature research for a project. And what can you, so this was written by a group of people. It's a very big group with Professor David Kember in Australia, with lots of students. So he has lots and lots of students working with him. And they did this, which is a big research project. It's a big project, but this is one of the studies within that big project. Okay, so what can you tell me about this? What is the view of reality? So these people organized they organized a project and they created an instrument.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, Barbara. They created an instrument to measure what? ¿Qué miden con este instrumento?
El desarrollo del pensamiento reflexivo.
Exactly. So critical reflection and the levels of critical reflection, something like that. Okay. So how do you think these people understand reality? They want to measure.
They have a, I don't know how to explain, but tienen una mirada más me cuesta
interpretativa. Do you think they are interpreting reality or they are measuring reality? ¿Qué es lo que ellos quieren hacer en esta parte, en este estudio?
Quieren detectar si los alumnos, a partir de sus acciones, son capaces de desarrollar el pensamiento reflexivo.
Yes, but yes, exactly. But they create a measuring instrument. Yes, so they think they can measure. Ellos pueden medir la realidad. Okay, so reality is that you reflect. Yes, every student from different areas. In this case, it's health science, but it can be education. It can be any. Yes.
So must be positivism.
Yes, so they have a more positivist view. But Barbara, you are not altogether wrong. No está tan mal, Barbara. They went through another previous study in which they interpreted reality. But in this study, they focus only on creating this instrument. And if I think I can create an instrument, it's because I think reality is objective. It's an object. So your reflection is an object for these people. It's not a social phenomenon. It's something I can measure. Okay, so I can change very quickly from one view to the other. And this is a big project. Yeah, so Kember and his students had a very big project in which they conducted different studies. But this study was more within the positivist view of reality. So reality is only one. There is a measure. I will treat your reflection as an object. It can be in level 1, 2, 3. I can measure it. And I don't care anything else about the social phenomenon. I don't care whether you reflect because you're in class, because you're in practicum, because you fall asleep, or because you're just, I don't know, a student. I do not know your reality. I only want to measure a product. Yes, so this is common. It can happen commonly in research studies, whether you go from, first of all, I interpret your reality, and then I try to standardize it. So everyone has to go through these stages. Okay, so this is something that can happen. But in this in this particular study, Kemper and his students only wanted to see objective reality, an objective reality. So I have an object from you and I analyze it, yes, as in levels. So imagine, yes. And we know that reflection is a social phenomenon. It's a phenomenon done by people, but I try to measure, categorize it, yes. So it is good, this understanding. It is good to see beyond, yes. We're trying to see the truth. Yes, what is the truth? What is reality here? Okay, next, abstract. So they're only examples, and I tell you the whole story. So they had a long story. So this is a group that did a big project. So you can, by understanding the whole story, you might understand. Abstract 2. They are not English. These are not English speakers. I think. What language? Where are they from? Abstract 2. Who had abstract 2? Lucas. Was your group? Was it your group? Was it? Abstract
Yes.
2? Yes. So where are they from? Where are these people from? I don't think they are not native speakers of English, for sure.
From
No. They
India.
come from India. Yes, they come from India. English is a second language in India. It's not their native language. And what were they studying? I am trying to find it. What were they studying?
The study was about teachers.
Yes.
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah, yes. Yes, methodologies because of pandemic. Yes, teachers in India. Okay.
And before?
Yes.
Before of the pandemic, they have one way to teach.
Yes, exactly. Very
Only
traditional.
One way. Yes.
Yes, very positivist. Yes. And conductism. Yes, following conductism. Yes. Stimulus response. Yes. And what did they learn from pandemic?
That there are many ways to teach.
Yes. Yes. So what is the position then of these researchers? How do they see reality? There is only one reality, or do they have to listen to teachers to see how was the reality for teachers? What do you think? What do you think?
The teacher have a fear for tenían como miedo de ser despedidos.
Yes, so all of that, all of those are the results. Sí, esos son los resultados. But what do you think the researchers, how did they see this reality? Was there only one reality, objective reality, or not? What do you think? What did they do? They listened to the teachers, yes?
They have research to como que buscaron como investigar a cada
profesor.
Profesor, es teacher.
Exactly. And
para
then
ver las experiencias.
Exactly. And so which school, which philosophy is behind this? Positivist, interpretivist, or pragmatist? What do you think? I repeated this several times. Some example like this. What do you think?
Could be realism.
Okay, realism. And we saw that realism was between positivism and interpretivism. But this is more what? If I interpretivism, because here the researchers had to understand the reality of each teacher, and they come to an agreement. Okay, so they come to certain results. So they find out results. So they find that they were afraid of being fired. There were problems with the students. They discovered that the students' families were disadvantaged. They discovered many things. In order to discover this, you have to go back to reality and study that reality as it is. So there are different kinds of realities. There is no one reality. So there is a pedagogical phenomenon. In that, Lucas is right. Yes, there is a positivist view because there is something that is teaching and learning. But here it goes more towards interpreting, which is the experience, as Sophia said, experience of the teachers. So this is an exploratory, and I didn't copy the title because it said exploratory study, something like that. It's a study that tries to explore, try to find out which are people's experiences. Okay, so this is one of my favorites. This is my position towards research. I try to discover realities from social groups, and so this is something I might be following a lot and recognizing a lot. Realism, in the sense that it tries to discover which is this subjective being, ¿cuál es el ser subjetivo detrás de un fenómeno que está siempre entre una visión positivista, porque hay una realidad educativa, pero luego hay muchas realidades dentro de esa realidad educativa. Okay, excellent. So this is the way you need to analyze later your other articles that you have to read. And the last one, number 3. What do you think? It can be tricky. This one is tricky. I would like to discuss this with my students later. Okay, so number 3.
We don't see the abstract.
Yes. Okay, the abstract is here. Yes, it is. It is not. They are not native speakers. They come from Turkey, Pamukkale University in Turkey, Turkey. And this is a reality that we see in our classrooms, virtual and non-virtual, every day, the use of mother tongue when teaching languages. What do you think? What is the view? What is the philosophy behind this study?
We think is interpretivism.
It could be, but in reality, what are these people trying to do? Did they collect data? So they are interested in the phenomenon, the experience, but they are trying to go a little bit further, interpretivism, further, because it says they collect lots of data.
Yes.
Different kinds of data, yes. And they even mixed, yes. So some of them are like quantitative data, qualitative data. What are they trying to negotiate, really?
Could be realistic because it's a combination.
Yes, but also pragmatist. Yes, they are trying to adapt. How can I get the best interpretation of this phenomenon? It's more than interpretation. It's understanding that this reality is not unique, as we said, yes, but I need to negotiate. How do I better understand this reality? So they are really having a pragmatist. What is more practical? How do I understand this reality better? So it is interpretivist in a way because they try to understand the experience of the participants, but also they try to collect lots of different kinds of data to see which is this best way to understand reality. So this is one example of pragmatism. It's not easy to find, I think. It tries to go beyond interpretivism a little bit, yes, go deeper and realistic, of course. realistic? Very much. I think they are all realistic in the sense that they try to see how reality really is. And I might understand that there is a positivist idea, because here is again a phenomenon that has to do with education, but there are different realities, but I need to see how I better understand that reality. So you have a little bit of everything, and in that one, I think you see lots of different characteristics. Okay, to finish, sorry, I didn't want to be, but it was good that you did these exercises, because later you have to do them on your own. So in the PowerPoint, you have some questions to practice, and in very briefly, I would try to explain this new objective. Learning outcome is to learn the characteristics of the scientific method. And in here, you will do something very short, much more related to education than to research. So it's more your area. And of course, some questions you will have to remember whether you know anything about the scientific method. You might have learned at school. Did you learn anything at school from the scientific method? Your teachers might have used it in science classes. And you will find that there are lots of examples related to science and to pedagogical interventions, having relationships with the scientific method. Because we know that there is a way in which we carry out a research, and therefore there is a method. And we have seen that there are methodologies through which we carry out research very briefly in the exercises we did. And that is what you're going to read about. So you have a video, very short video, very easy, that we will discuss next class. That's why I need you to watch a video, read, and even if you don't finish, then we put together our knowledge. Yes? Do we agree? It's a very short video about the research method, and we will share ideas. Then you have another video. Yes, so this was a motivational video, and this is another one about the scientific method. Yes. If all the academic areas follow the scientific method the same way, or if they are steps, if they are areas. So there is a dichotomy there, because maybe there is not only one way to follow the scientific method. And this is something you will discover here. And in this reading, this is a very, very practical, very following pragmatism, very practical reading, referred to science fair projects, very much dedicated to future teachers like you, or teachers, in-service teachers, trying to guide their students to apply the scientific method to do something related to the physical sciences. It really, sometimes it has to do with the natural sciences. But it is not a problem, it's just for you to have an example. And that is what you're going to see. So short research project is only a summary, yes, in which you will follow some kind of experiment or something to do with elementary school or early education children, students. Young learners or early education, it depends. In the United States, children, I am trying to think. So in the United States, it's called early childhood education, and in England, it's young learners, but it's the same, early childhood education. Okay. So you will think of your future students and organize this project that they could do following the scientific method and following this page, which is very interactive. It will take you to other pages. So it's really very practical. And that's it. That's everything you have to do in task 3. It's really short, very brief. It's very much more concrete than the previous one. So I don't think you will have any problems in understanding this task. Okay, so we will stop here. Yes. Different, so the research method can be organized differently according to your objectives and your own research study. So we will revise that next week. Okay, so just to finish our agreement, so you keep on working on the tasks that you still have to finish. Number 2, now you have number 3, but it's really short. So finish number 2. Okay. In this one, what did we learn? So what did we learn? So always think that we need to finish with this. Do you have anything specific to mention about that?
About what, Miss?
About what we learned. What did we learn today?
Oh, about paradigm, different branch of philosophy, what more?
Yes, about paradigm, yes.
Yes.
Paradigm.
Yes, about paradigms and
yes, philosophical schools.
Yes, is the I said a branch of philosophy, but is is the name the correct name is schools of
philosophy.
Yeah,
yes, schools of philosophy. Yes, so this and they conform paradigms. Yes, models through which we understand reality. Yes, and 2 things you want to learn more about.
Also the ontology and epistemology.
Yes, we learned about ontology. Yes, ontology. Yes, and ontology and epistemology. Yes, and we use them in Spanish as well. But sometimes we do not know what they refer to. And always think what you want to learn more about. Do you want to learn more about research, about different projects that you can carry out? So that will be also for the future. It will also be always necessary to project what else to think, to reflect, what else do we want to learn? And one question that is still difficult to answer. How?
The paradigms is related with the ontology and epistemology.
How the
because in research the paradigm of research need of the ontology and the epistemology.
Yes. Yeah. But the difficult thing, Barbara, I think as a teacher, as a student that I was to recognize how the research study related is what we did, yes, related to epistemology and ontology and to philosophical schools. So that is epistemology, ontology, yes. Philosophical paradigms in general, because and I think we read, and that I think is a problem of our knowledge, of our previous knowledge, that we read according to our knowledge. So sometimes it is more difficult to recognize this, yes?
Yes,
So,
it's a
this,
lot of términos, I don't know.
yes, terminology, yes, or jargon, yes, but also a lot of thinking, because sometimes we can be misled. And I think you like interpretivism and you see everything through the lenses of interpretivism, because it's more pervasive, it has more to do with teachers. And we try to see everything through those eyes. And that's a problem when we read and when we reflect. Yes, that can be a problem. How do you recognize exactly? Yes. So what is this exactly? Okay, so for the 15th of April, so you keep on working the tasks, yes, finish a task in 1 week, of course, if it is possible. So keep on working. Try to rewrite task 2 according to what we discussed today. ¿Sí? Nuestra discusión de hoy tiene que influir en cómo yo reviso la tarea 2. Yes, again. Y los resúmenes de las escuelas filosóficas. And prepare, read and prepare task 3, even if you don't exactly altogether finish, but it's short. We will discuss about the scientific method next class. And always have your summary, your graphic organizer, always have something ready to discuss. Yes, even if it is 1 page, but you read it. Express what you read. Express it, yes. And contact me in case of more questions. Do you have any questions? Answers?
Not by my side.
Okay, so again, thank you for attending, and I hope it was useful, and we will see a little bit more of the scientific method next class, just to round up. And we have another activity, a workshop to organize next class. So I want everyone present, please. Okay. Are we ready? Do you have any other questions?
No?
No.
No. Okay. So I keep on uploading your results, your tasks with your results and what is this? The rubric with comments. So please keep an eye on them. And I hope to see you next Thursday. Keep working. You're doing well.
Yeah.
Reflecting, yes. You read and you reflect.
It's so necessary reflecting for understand this matter.
For understanding, yes, exactly. So then it comes the practical side, but first of all, it's understanding. And sometimes you go through, so it's not a linear way. No, you go roundabouts a lot. So, but it's normal. So I hope you keep on working hard, and hope to see you next week. So bye-bye for today, everyone.
See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.